housekeeping. First portion of this is TV, radio, online. Second portion will be embargoed written word. And after that, there'll be two pair interviews in here and two pair interviews in the Duchess, the embargoed written guides, okay? So, we just get more recording devices on the table.
Before the table and Joe does anyway.
And we'll get underway with the best coach Andy Farrell announce the team for the weekend.
Good afternoon, everyone. The team for our last Guinness Summer Series game is at 15 Rock County, 14 Jordan Lamar, 13 Robbie Henshaw playing his first game, with 12 Bundyaki, number 11 Keith Earls, who's playing his first game of the Summer Series as well. Number 10 Johnny Sexton, another first game of the season for him. Number 9 Conor Murray, number 1 Cian Healy, number 2 Rory Best, playing his last game at the Aviva. Number 3 Tyke Furlong, number 4 James Ryan, number 5 John Klein, number 6 CJ Stander, number 7 Josh van der Fleur, and number 8 Jack Conan. On the bench, 16 Sean Cronin, 17 Dave Kilcoyne, 18 Andrew Porter, 19 Ian Henderson, 20 Rhys Ruddock, Luke McGrath at 21, Jack Carty at 22, and Gary Ringrose at 23.
Andy, all those guys that you mentioned coming in for their first game, all fit and 100% ready to go?
Raring to go. I've been held back for at least a week or two, and can't wait to get going this weekend.
Just in terms of Keith Earl particularly, he was given a couple of extra weeks with that knee issue. He's fine, and you're happy with him?
He's fine. He hit his highest speed score today in training as he was going to score a try in the corner, which delighted us all.
Just overall, the performance on Saturday, are you looking for that to be up there with what you're going to require against Scotland in a little more than 2 weeks?
Of course, yeah. It's our last game before we get on the plane on Wednesday, so we're after a performance that we're proud of. There's an extra reason for that with it being Rory's last game at the Aviva and Joel's as well, obviously. But yeah, the important thing is we put the performance in, the cohesive performance, and the right mental attitude to take forward into 2 weeks' time at the start of the World Cup against Scotland.
The naming of the squad earlier in the week and any controversy that may have come out of the number of players that were left out of that, has that impacted the build-up at all?
Well, look, we're in a bubble here, aren't we? 31 guys turned in for training, plus 1 or 2 that came in to help us with our numbers, etc. It's brought us closer together. Why? Because the team's been picked, the squad's been picked, the wait is over. So you already see ownership in little groups, in different silos within the game. You see that taking place, and because of that, the cohesiveness throughout the group is one of a much higher standard.
Rory, I'll come to your last game in a second, but this is the same question as asked of Andy. That kind of impact, I know there is a bubble mentality, but some of it has to seep in.
Yeah, look, I think Faz is right, and just when you get down to that 31, it's funny how taking 9-10 players out of it, the place just seemed like there's so much more room, and you can get into your smaller groups a lot easier, and like ultimately now, obviously hopefully not, but barring a couple of injuries on Saturday or whatever, this is the 31 players plus the management that are there that are going to take us to the World Cup, and with that you get a bit of confidence, you get an extra spring in your step amongst the players there, and I think it's a great time to be around the squad, because you don't feel that sword's hanging over your head anymore. You know that you're in, and you can just roll up the sleeves and get on with trying to produce the best that we can this Saturday, and letting that lead into 2 weeks on Saturday or 2 weeks on Sunday.
A rough ride with the media was giving you a pretty hard time over the couple of weeks after the England game. Is there any sense that, as you say, with the squad finalised now, that you can come together, and how do you feel, if you like, the form and the atmosphere within the camp is? Are you ready to go to Japan and win that trophy?
Yeah, look, I think we're certainly ready to play this Saturday, and that's the first thing for us, to get a performance this Saturday. The last game of the calendar year at the Aviva, the last game before we go. So look, we're looking forward to putting in a performance. There's a few boys that are coming in for the first game, a few not bad players that are coming in for the first game this season, and they've added a little bit of energy to training as well. And look, I think first and foremost we're looking for this Saturday, and then it's always been looking forward for us. And we know that we're never as good as people say we are, and the flip side is we know we're never as bad as people say we are, and we gotta always try to get better. And I think certainly a week ago on Monday past there that we were more disappointed than anyone after the England game, and I know a lot was written, but I can tell you the biggest disappointment was within the team room at Carton House, and we just made sure that we got a few things addressed that we probably felt that weren't going the way we'd wanted to, and give ourselves something that we can hang our hat on. And look, we'll see over the next, obviously Saturday past, this Saturday and into the World Cup, whether we really take ownership of that.
Well, you mentioned it there yourself. How much do you feel that kind of sword hanging over you over the last few weeks after that performance against England?
I think everyone, even before the England game, when you're in the pre-season, when you're playing these competitive condition games on a Friday, and even when you're doing your rugby or your conditioning or your sprints, everything's a competition, because ultimately you're aware when we started with 48 or whatever it is, that ultimately it'll have to go down to 31, and I think no matter what you are, I think some of our better players sometimes are more insecure ones, and that's why they are the best, because they work the hardest. And so no matter where you sat in the squad, you always felt that until that squad's named and you're in it, you're never sure, and that creates a little bit of uncertainty, but it also creates drive to make you be better, to make you be competitive with the guy you're competing with. But ultimately when you get to the games, you share information, and now that we're in a 31, it is very much about making sure that we, like I said earlier, we get in our little groups, we share every little detail we have about playing against the Welsh and then the Scottish when it comes up, and the Japanese, and that's what makes a really good squad. And I think that this is a good squad, it's a tight-knit squad, and I don't think necessarily we're relaxed, but I think we're in a nice place confidence-wise, because you're in that squad now.
Andy, has anyone not made this team due to injury?
Due to injury?
Yeah, has anyone not been? Is everyone fit in the
No, everyone's fit, yeah.
And with this team, when you're looking, how much of this is with a view to what the match you're playing in 2 weeks' time?
Well, a little bit of that, but also people getting the first starts and trying to get a few different combinations going, and still having a look, because what is important that, yes, we're down to 31, but there's still massive competition for places for who takes the field in that first game. Everyone wants to be involved in that, and the guys that take the field on Saturday, they're in the shop window to put the best foot forward for a start in the first World Cup game.
Joe said the other day that there could be a number of line-out callers, and with maybe one primary line-out caller. So how important is it this game on Saturday that it works so that you get it right before the game against Wales, or sorry, against Scotland?
Yeah, I think it's about confidence, and it's about getting different people used to each other, and I think ultimately the line out is a game of confidence. If you can get the first couple in and one and away, then everyone breathes a sigh of relief. And I think whenever you lose a couple, then everyone gets nervous, not right from the hooker right down the line, and that isn't where you want to be, and it's like a reflection of the game. I think if you play with the ball in hand and somebody knocks a couple on, then the whole team automatically gets a little bit nervous, and look, I think it's only natural. I think for this weekend it's important for us just to get a good run, to get those first couple of line out wins, and then, but ultimately if it doesn't go that way, we can't let it affect the rest of our game the way we did against England. Okay, we lost a few line-outs against England, but I think what was most disappointing, because you can repair them reasonably easy, the most disappointing thing was how we then give up the next moment after that, the next moment. I think probably Atoje's try was probably the biggest example of that. We lost the line out, and then we let them get the ball back, set a phase up, and then really score relatively easy under the post, because we just weren't focused on trying to win that next moment and try to get the upper hand back with our actions, and that was as disappointing as the line out not functioning.
Take the last one.
Yeah, Rory, just on Saturday, obviously cap 120, rolling that one up. Your last home game, what's it likely to be for you, and what are the emotions especially?
It's not something that I've given a lot of thought about. It wasn't really until I walked off the pitch today, and as always, there's a few of the same faces nearly that greet us coming off the training pitch, and the one woman in particular, she was in tears, saying it was the last time I'll walk off the Carton House pitch, and I hadn't really given that any thought, because look, I think for me it's about making sure we focus on this next game, and look, like when it gets to it, and probably after the game, the realisation of the last game of the Aviva will hit home properly, but it's important for me and for the team that doesn't affect our preparation. Yeah, look, it'll be a really big occasion when I look back upon it, and I'm sure my family will feel it a lot more than I do in the build up to the game, but ultimately it is about making sure that as a team we perform, as a team that we take a massive step forward and we put ourselves in the best possible position we can to get on a flight on Wednesday to go to Japan, and ultimately Scotland then becomes the next target.
Okay, folks, sorry, we're going to have to shut this down because we've got to keep moving. Okay, so